Hi Capricorn, thank you very much for being here. Paulina here, talking to you about February, and here are my tarot cards if you'd like a tarot reading that is complimentary to those on my Patreon channel. So if you'd like, join to my Patreon, have a look at the goodies that I will be serving up there. It's gonna be a good year. But for now, this is just a psychic reading. This is a public video, so let's talk to you about you and Feb. So it feels to me that Capricorns might have not a lot of self-worth and not a lot of kindness to give to themselves, surprisingly, during such a brilliant time. So the brilliance and the sense of you as really truly free. I also feel that you have a lot of people, a lot of us really truly relying on you. You might have a sister or a brother that you've never had before. You might accidentally daughter somebody, meaning you might accidentally mother or father somebody very easily during this time, or you might accidentally find that you have love, or you have finally opened up to love, which before probably couldn't be, or perhaps before was too astounding. But please release any kind of temptation to be lesser than, to work around us, to try and serve us, to try and make us happy, or try to make things great if they're not just coming together themselves. It will be very, very impossible perhaps for you to have the full light and love unless you can see things clearly as they are. Nature, natural development only. So it feels to me that you have to really hold back from trying to remain within a certain type of situation only by the skin of your teeth, as they say. So it feels to me that you can really have a fine line experience with other people during this Feb, where you are holding on, or you holding each other in such a way where it is minute, it is minor, or it just doesn't have to be. Also reaching out to somebody that doesn't want to talk to you, making a plan, making a big gesture, behaving badly or behaving way too well, in front of people that cannot really identify or understand who you are. So pearls before swine, for sure. But also trying to be there beyond your own means. So for example, there is a party, you haven't been invited, showing up anyway, and trying to be there, trying to speak, trying to give, trying to get, paying for other people's things, trying to fix other people's stuff, being amongst other people's issues, wanting to be the hero that saves the day. When you've got this type of thing happening, you've got no worth placed on yourself, and nobody can really give it back to you unless you go into your heart and you feel fine and rigid as you are. So it's time to count our chickens. We have the last 2 signs here to go before we have the changeover of the year. So basically here you are, and the mighty feeling that you might get through offering another something, being there for somebody else as a friend, giving advice, giving care, giving love, or giving home, I feel you could actually already have. Maybe you've already done it. Maybe you've already done all this stuff. Maybe you have karmic errands that are not actually karmic at all, that are actually placed in front of you, or you've placed in front of yourself as a certain type of duty, which you don't actually have to believe. You don't have to trust us on such a intense level. You might easily hear say to somebody to take it all. You might accidentally put your how can I say, feelings to the surface. You might rip your shirt open and say, have my heart. It is a very, very easy time for us also not to feel love. We are very careful, we're gentle, very dainty people during this time. So if you hold such a big feeling or mission or vision for you and this person or this project or this place, if you're feeling a whole lot, and if you're trying to really gather your strength and perseverance and feel all of these different angles and all these different curves in such an intense way, I would probably suggest not to trust that to be who you are, because sometimes you might feel later in life, or even at the moment, that you are enacting your true feeling, and suddenly you are in your own truth, or you're in your own greatest, most vibrational being, but you could actually just be very disconnected, and you could actually be not very socially or romantically eloquent, And perhaps during a time like this, you can very much make a position of luck for another person and move on. You can give something away and move on. You can make another person lucky. You can make another person feel the feeling. And then for some reason you move on, they move on, or something you leave behind. So it's very easy here to structure a great big deed, to make a huge dimensional shift for someone else, and then to no longer be needed, or no longer be relevant within that story. So relevance of you, and the feeling of home, the feeling of hope, and the feeling of dimension as well. Dimension of your spirit, dimension of your growth. Don't give away what you've done. It would be very easy to just chuck it in the bin. It'll be very easy to just put who you are and your faith, your hopes and dreams in the rubbish bin. So please don't chuck anything away. It is a good idea to actually keep things around, and to know what you have, and to know what you want, and to know what you've always wanted. But yes, radicalism, I feel it is time for you to really sensitize yourself and maybe see how else you can dream your dream. And perhaps there are many ways in which you have not been given because you held back. Maybe you didn't speak out. Maybe you've had lots of people in your life, or lots of situations that have not been managed correctly, and now you want to give your heart to something, or you want to give your all. But the thing here is not to try to make this one right, like everything else right. So people say two wrongs don't make a right. That is real. But what I mean here is this thing that you're trying to maybe be part of, or this world that you're trying to expand or change, all this good wishing and good meaning stuff can actually eventually be something else. And you can also frighten or show people the way, or make somebody disconnect or discredit you, because you might have too much passion and too much joy and too much need to suddenly be a father or mother figure, or to have all this incredible love or lust or depth given to the surface. So if you have a project, you have a person, you're making a baby, or you're doing something, it's important not to go into a great worship of someone else, of something else outside of you, and not to give with great gusto, because simply I feel that the meaning of things will get lost. And I feel that also this February you might find that you're playing somebody else's game, or somebody else has accidentally gained what you tried to retain all these years, and you might also like give away the keys to your world, or the keys to your craft, or the keys to your work to another person, who then eventually becomes on their own, and you will no longer have access to anything that you've done before, or to them. So it's not very easy. So basically try not to gush, and try not to push onto another person specifically what you feel or mean, and make sure that everything is relevant and eloquent. So thank you very much, Capricorn. Please keep eloquent. I'm going to do a reading for Capricorns that's going to be on Patreon, and if you'd like to see it, you can. All the details and the links below. Thanks. Bye.